At BetUS, use promo code Iceman. You're going to get 125% deposit bonus. All sports, if you use the promo codes on their websites, it's a split between casino and sports. If you use promo code Iceman, you're going to get 125% all sports, which is what you want. So before we get into this weekend's card, I'm just going to do a little recap of last week's UFC. If you guys watched our picks, we went 8 for 11 on all our picks. Should have been 9 for 11, but of course, Calvin Kattar got robbed. Obviously, horrible decision. Dude, looking at one of the judges' scorecards, I think Judge Chris Lee scored round 4 for Josh Emmett. Dude, Josh Emmett got hurt in round 4. His output was less than half of Calvin Kattar's in that round. The fact that judges gave round 4 to Josh Emmett blows my mind. Even the power shots, was Josh Emmett throwing more power shots? Absolutely. But he wasn't landing. He was landing on the arms and the shoulders of Calvin Kattar. He was not landing clean power shots on Calvin Kattar. And Calvin Kattar was piecing him up. I had Calvin Kattar easily winning round 4 and 5, and you can give him any one of those first 3 rounds. So I thought Calvin Kattar was robbed. That was just horrible. If you guys think Josh Emmett won that fight, that means you guys don't know shit about MMA. You should probably watch boxing or something. But there's no way Josh Emmett won that fight. I went back and watched it again. I'm like, how do you give him round 4 and 5? Because that's what ultimately won him the fight. It's the judge that gave him round 4 that gave him the victory. And there's no way you can give Josh Emmett round 4. He almost got dropped in that round 4 round. How the fuck are you going to give him round 4? Drives me nuts. And I don't know if you guys seen, because no one's talking about it, but Garam Kutaladze versus Damir Ismagulov. Dude, the judge gave Damir Ismagulov round 1, bro. I don't know if you guys watched that fight, but round 1, Damir Ismagulov got rocked, and he got hurt really bad. And I don't know how the fuck you're giving this guy round 1 when he just gets battered. Did he win the next 2, Demir? Maybe, sure. But the fact that you didn't give him the first round, it just drives me nuts. It means they're not actually watching the fight. So the real winners in that card was the bookies, because I know everybody had Calvin Kattar on their parlays, and yeah, what can I say? The bookies won that one. Dog shit. But we're gonna try to get him back. So this UFC this weekend, stacked card. I'm surprised UFC's putting on such a good card for a fight night. But it's not the biggest names, but they will be soon. Arman Tsarukyan in the main event versus Mateusz Gamrot. These guys are super high level. You're going to see these guys fighting for the title real soon. This is how stacked the lightweight division is. These guys are fighting like so many. There's just so many good guys in that lightweight division right now. I mean, even add Damir Ismagulov and Garam in there. Like, this is stacked. But let's start with the beginning, obviously, because you guys want all my picks. And so if you guys noticed, we did make ice picks. So we're going to be 84%. We lost one, but we won on Kevin Holland, even though fucking Calvin Kattar won that shit. But yeah, so we're at 84% now, but it is what it is. But let's say I'd make 2 ice picks and you guys are like, oh, I'm not feeling one of those ice picks. Then take one of the other picks. You know, I went 8 for 11. You guys could have easily took. I remember I made a parlay with Yanez and Ismagulov fight to go over, and the Yanez fight for Yanez to win by KO. Just so many good bets you could have took, but it is what it is. So Brian Kelleher takes on Mario Bautista. Brian Kelleher, super experienced dude, coming off a rear naked choke loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. No shame there, losing to Umar Nurmagomedov, who's a savage. Before that, so he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, losing to Ricky Simone and losing to Umar Nurmagomedov. And he's fighting Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista's He's got a loss to Sandhagen and Trevin Jones. Yeah, I'm going to take this fight to go over. I think this fight's going over. So, not bad. Next, we got JP Buys versus Cody Durden. So, you guys don't know Cody Durden. This guy's the guy they like put him against Muhammad Makayev, and Makayev just murdered him in under a minute. Poor guy. Of course, we had Muhammad as our ice pick. But he's not fighting Muhammad Makayev. He's fighting JP Buys, who is not nearly on the level of Muhammad Makayev, but he's not bad. He's got one win in his last 3 fights, however. He lost to Bruno Silva and Montel Jackson. I remember Bruno Silva knocked him out, the counter right hand. This fight is going to be interesting, to be honest. These guys aren't the greatest fighters, and this fight could go either way. If I were to bet, I'm probably leaning a bit towards Cody Durden just because he's a little more well-rounded. He throws more strikes, and he's got that takedown. So I'm gonna go with Cody Durden on this one. But this is not a solid one. Both these guys aren't the highest level of fighters. But I think Cody Durden's wrestling should get it done for him. Next, we have Julian Paiva coming off a vicious loss to Sean O'Malley. Got knocked out pretty bad, and he's fighting Sergei Morozov. So Sergei Morozov, he's a good fighter. He just got unfortunate. He fought Umar Nurmagomedov, got choked out, and he fought Douglas Silva de Andrade, got choked out again. So, his last 3 losses were by rear naked chokes. So he's obviously got some sort of issue there with his jiu-jitsu. Julian Paiva is a good fighter, but man, I'm a little worried about betting Julian. I don't really. Yeah, I'm gonna take this fight to go over. I don't think anyone's gonna get the finish here. I think Sergei Morozov is a tough dude. I don't think he's gonna get choked out by Paiva, and I think Paiva, his chin's a bit cracked, but I don't think Morozov's gonna knock him out. So I have a feeling this fight's gonna go over, probably distance. Next, we have Shayilan Nerdenbeki versus TJ Brown. So this Shayilan guy, this guy's got a lot of fights. He's got like close to 50 pro fights, I believe. His last fight, he beat Sean Soriano, and then he's coming off a loss to Josh Kuliabao, who just beat that Sungwoo Choi guy in that Glover Teixeira card. So he's got 1 loss in his last 4 fights. Thing is, he's only had 2 fights in the UFC, and he's 1-1, and he's going against TJ Brown. TJ Brown has 4 fights in the UFC, and he's 2-2. He actually got lost to Dani Chavez, the Colombian warrior, who got knocked out pretty bad last weekend. But he's coming off 2 straight wins, one a split over Kai Kamaka and Charles Rosa. I remember watching that fight. To be honest, I haven't seen too much of this Shahilan guy, but he seems like super experienced. The striking edge, TJ might have the advantage there, and TJ might have the advantage in the jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I'm going to go with TJ Brown on this one. But I'm not really confident in this one. I'm just giving you my prediction because I know you guys want it, but I'm not confident in this one whatsoever. Carlos Ulberg versus Tafon Nchukwl. These names are getting harder and harder to pronounce. Fabio Charant was Carlos Ulberg's last fight. He won a decision. Before that, he got knocked out by Kennedy and Nchukwl, or I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but Carlos Ulberg he's a kickboxer. I know he's had some kickboxing fights. Pretty good kickboxer. and he's taking on Tafon. And Tafon's got one win in his last 3 fights. He lost a majority decision to Junon Park, and he got a flying knee by that Azamat Mirzakhanov guy. And now he's fighting Carlos Ulberg. This is going to be a tight one. Carlos Ulberg, significant strikes landed per minute, 8.7. Geez, that's high. 62% strike accuracy. That's really high as well. Yeah, I'm going to go with Carlos Ulberg on this one. I think he's got the height advantage. I think he's got the striking advantage. Curious to see the grappling, but I think Carlos Ulberg should get this one done. Now, this is an interesting one. Rodolfo Viera versus Chris Curtis. This is your grappler versus striker matchup. Chris Curtis, the action man. He's been knocking people out lately. He knocked out Brendan Allen, knocked out Phil Hawes. He's been looking really good lately. And he's been coming in as underdogs. I remember he was a huge underdog against Phil Hawes and Brendan Allen and knocked them both out. But now he's coming in as a favorite, and he's fighting a psychopath on the ground. Rodolfo Vieira, if he gets you on the ground, I mean, you're in big trouble. This is going to be, it's Rodolfo by submission or Chris Curtis by knockout. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so I'm going to be a little biased on this one. I'm going to go with my boy Rodolfo Vieira by submission. I think if he gets Chris Curtis to the ground, which he might, I don't think Chris Curtis is going to be able to stop the jiu-jitsu of Rodolfo Vieira. So I'm going with the underdog on this one. However, Rodolfo Vieira did not look good against Fluffy Hernandez. So hopefully he can fix his cardio issues out and being able to take Chris Curtis down. And if he takes him down, Chris Curtis is going to be in a world of trouble. Next, a very interesting matchup. Nate Maness versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Nate Maness, he's actually a pretty good fighter. 14-1. His last fight, he fought Tony Gravely. Got the finish over Tony Gravely. However, he did get rocked pretty bad in that Gravely fight. And he's fighting Umar Nurmagomedov, Habib's cousin. And most people think, oh shit, Nurmagomedov, this guy is going to be a wicked grappler, which obviously he is, but they don't know this guy's got really good kicks. He's got one of the best question mark kicks in the game. The way he's able to throw that front lead right kick, he whips it, man. Just an excellent kicker. I think he's only like 26 or something years old. I think he's gonna should just run through Nate Maness, and he's got some of the fastest back takes I've seen in the UFC. Does Umar Nurmagomedov, and so I think he's better striker. I think he's got those kicks that are gonna give Nate Maness a hard problem, and if it goes to the ground, it's gonna be Umar Nurmagomedov all day. And I think Umar Nurmagomedov should get the finish. If I were to bet, I would probably think it's going to be RNC because he's just that good at getting the back. Just watching his previous fights, he's just incredible everywhere. So he's going to just dominate Nate Maness. The fact that he's minus 800, man, they're giving no respect to Nate Maness plus 550. Jeez. So they think Umar's going to run through him, which I think he is too. He's just better than him everywhere. Next, we have Thiago Moises versus Christos Giagos. Just a horrible matchup for Christos Giagos. Thiago Moises is for real. He's only been losing to top guys. Christos Giagos, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, but his 2 losses were coming to top guys. He got viciously beat up by Arman Tsarukyan, and Drakkar Klose beat him in a decision. And Moises is pretty similar. Like, he lost to Joel Alvarez and he lost to Islam Makhachev, which is no shame in losing to those guys. And, before that, he lost a decision to Damir Ismagulov and Beneil Dariush. So he's only losing to top guys. And he's got wins over Alex Hernandez, Bobby Green. So I think Thiago Moises should get this one done. I think he's better than Christos Giagos everywhere. If it goes to the ground, it's not even close. And if it's on the feet, I think Moises should have the edge. So I'm going to go with Thiago Moises on this one. Next, we have Josh Parisian versus Alan Boudreaux. Yeah, this is a interesting one, heavyweight here. So, Josh Parisian coming off. I remember he got crucifixed and just elbowed to death by that Dontel Mays guy, and then before that he lost. No, sorry, he won a split over Roque Martinez, and he lost to Parker Porter. That's what it was. So he's got one win in his last 3 fights, and then he's taken on Alan Boudreaux, who himself is coming off a decision loss to Parker Porter, and he got beat up by Tom Aspinall, which is no shame in that. This is that's going to be interesting. This could go either way. I don't even know on this one. This could go either way. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Josh Parisian on this one. Not confident, but I'll take Josh Parisian on this one, just because he's got a bit more experience. So I'll go with Josh Parisian on this one. So now this is the fight right here: Shavkat Rakhmanov versus Neil Magny. Whenever you ever see Neil Magny, it's such a huge underdog, plus 310. That shows you what everyone thinks of this Shavkat Rakhmanov guy. This guy is a guy who I can see being champion at welterweight soon. I mean, this guy is for real. 15 fights, 15 finishes. Has never been into the third round, I believe, or only once. I mean, he's just murdering people, this guy. Spin kicks, like, he's got it all, this guy. Striking, grappling. Doesn't have the best takedowns, but, I mean, doesn't need them. Really just shows that he doesn't need him. He's so dangerous, submission-wise. And I think if Neil Magny wants to win this fight, he's got to win in the clinch and just try to dominate Shavkat against the cage and, try to use his wrestling. But I don't even know if he's going to be able to do that because Shavkat Rakhmanov is a incredible grappler and just, yeah, man, super well-rounded. This guy is the future. So I'm going to go with Shavkat Rakhmanov by finish, minus 163, I believe. So, yeah, that's Shavkat Rakhmanov by finish. He should easily get the win here. I think he's better than Neil Magny everywhere. Because that may be the cardio, because Neil Magny does have good cardio, but I haven't really seen Shavkat tested. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Shavkat Rakhmanov. Next, this is your fight of the night right here. Arman Tsarukyan versus Mateusz Gamrot. I don't agree with the odds on this fight. Minus 260 Arman Tsarukyan. They're counting out Mateusz Gamrot. I don't count out Gamrot. Gamrot's for real, man. This is a guy who's competed at the ADCC. 2017, he lost to Gary Tonin in ADCC. That's how good he is to make it to ADCC. His grappling is so good, man. I don't even know who's going to win the grappling exchanges in this match. Like, Mateusz Gamrot is that good on the ground, and Tsarukyan is an incredible grappler himself. Hard to take down. You've seen how hard Islam tried taking him down. So, man, I don't even want to bet against either of these guys. That's why I'm taking the over in this fight. I have a feeling this fight, no one's going to finish each other. I think Mateusz Gamrot's going to be super hard to finish. Super tough dude, well-rounded, and so is Arman Tsarukyan, He's going to be incredibly difficult to finish. So that's why I'm going over 2.5 rounds. I think very similar to Demir and Garam, there's such high levels. Both guys just incredible fighters, well-rounded everywhere. I find they're disrespecting Gamrot in this fight by making his odds plus 210. I mean, I wanted to take Arman Tsarukyan, I'm not going to lie, but his minus 260, dude, I'm not taking him at minus 260 against a guy like Gamrot, bro. No way. I mean, Gamrot should be 21-0. His loss to Garam, dude, he won that fight. I watched that fight like multiple times. Gamrot won that fight. Even Garam believes Gamrot won that fight. So the guy's like 21-0, man. I don't want to bet against this Gamrot guy, but I also don't want to bet against Tsarukyan, man, seeing how good Tsarukyan is. So I'm going with the over on that one. Yeah, that's going to be a good fight, man. That's probably your fight of the night right there. Yeah, Mateusz Gamrot, they're counting him out, but that's your picks for the UFC Tsarukyan versus Gamrot. If you're feeling it, take it. If you're not feeling it, don't take it. You guys are going to ask, who am I betting on? And I'll tell you who am I betting on. I'm taking Umar Nurmagomedov to win by finish. Last time I checked, it was minus 130. I'm going to parlay that with Shavkat Rakhmanov to win by finish, which was minus 163. And I'm also going to take the Mateusz Gamrot fight to go over 2.5. So those are my picks.